Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I am driving this. This is the 1996 Tata Sumo. Sumo has actually been named after Suman Mulgaonkar, who is the architect of Tata Motors. He even got a Padma Bhushan award for his contribution to the industry. Anyways, this car comes courtesy of Atharva to me. This is the 1996 model, however, it has been updated to 2004 specs with the Victa. So this is the Victa GX now, but the chassis remains the same, the number remains the same, the numbering from 1996 remains the same, all that remains the same. However, this car was launched in 1994 for the military and for off-road applications. Straight away, let's open the engine bay, which is going to be easy, but there is the engine. Oh my god, there is insulation, but super heavy. I can't hold it. I'm sorry, I can't do that. It's super duper heavy. It's crazy heavy. Anyways, it's a very boxy shape. Will kind of remind you of the G-Wagon, but you know what? Mercedes had collaborated with Telco, aka Tata Motors, in 1994, and that's the same year when this car came out. So I'm not saying anything, but you get the drift. So massive light here. There's a fog light there. Vibrations are so much. Now the body vibrates. It vibrates almost all over the place. Single washer fluid nozzle. Dual wipers with this treatment. I don't know for what. The wheel size actually is weird. 195/15 it says. Where is the profile? It doesn't tell me the profile at all. It's a very boxy shape, kind of a crude vehicle. Side footstep, very much needed to climb into this vehicle. You got this graphic treatment as well. What was the rival of this car? Earlier it was various vehicles from Mahindra, but then it became the Bolero, and the Bolero ate this car up, unfortunately. So it was discontinued in 2019. They came up with the second generation model known as the Sumo Grand in 2008 and discontinued in 2016. I've actually done a vlog of that car as well. Says Sumo Victa GX, Bharat Stage 2. However, it has been upgraded to BS4 now. Spare wheel has been mounted here. Some wire here for God knows what. Rear wiper is there as well. Vertical lights, everything is a bulb, of course. There's a hole for God knows what, and the Tata logo right there. Anyways, let's open this because jump seats, so two people can sit in uncomfortably. No seat belts, no headrest. People don't have heads, they don't have a body either. That's why no seat belts are given. But this window actually opens, but it is jammed at the moment. I can just climb in by stepping right here, and this thing doesn't stop. Arey bhai, ruk ja tu. Yeah, now can you stop? No, it will not stop. It will keep coming to me. Well, headroom is just about adequate, but you know, this is not having much of legroom. Good for intimacy if you want to do that with the passenger sitting in front of you. Otherwise, I would not recommend it. And this is making some weird sound. Okay, AC vents are there on the top. This is, I think, a 7-seater or a 9-seater. There was a 10-seater version as well. So it was all about carrying people, and this is rear wheel drive. There was also, okay, wheel caps have fallen here. There was also 4-wheel drive version, but for fleet operators. There's a helmet right there, fabric seats. In fact, this will surely recline, but you know what, because this is cut now, 40/60 center armrest with twin cup holders. You have to actually open the zip. Let's just move this helmet to the other side right there, and let's step inside. Okay, firstly, you have to step in, and then legroom and kneeroom is not that great. Under thigh support is decent, not really bad, not really good as well. And then headroom is plenty here. You can control the air conditioning from here. What kind of sound is that? It sounds like the dentist is drilling something in my mouth right now. And there's a light placement here on the top. Dashboard design is quite basic but very rugged a car. Storage space here, which is open because that lid has fallen off. Armrest for the front people. Nice magazine holders as well. Kind of cool. Power windows too, which don't work. They are on a vacation at the moment. You won't blame them for that. You see how they have done this. So very crude a vehicle in the real sense, but a workhorse as well. Let's get outside. It's not much of a climb as such, at least not for me, to be honest. You have to put the key inside to unlock. I've been told not to open this door, so I shall not. Mirror is actually small when compared to the size of this car, because this car is huge. Well, that's what she said. Anyways, let's get inside. Okay, handbrake has been placed here. This was an afterthought, so they realized later that, you know, they have to fill fuel also. They just put it right there. There's no dead pedal. See the gap between the brake pedal and the clutch pedal. It's like the clutch will be operated by the co-passenger. Insane. Zero ergonomics in this car. These are controls for the lights, of course, headlight leveler and all that stuff. And seats at the front are actually comfortable. There's no button here. Manual adjust from the inside, because power window controls have been given right here. Lot of buttons here for wipers and various things. In fact, these are the controls for the wipers. Let's use the wipers. Oh, the wipers work. That's kind of cool. These are controls for the lights. And what are these buttons for? I think this is for rear wiper. No, know why am I twisting the phone like that. Okay, rear wiper is not working. Yeah, it's on a vacation as well. So various buttons. This is for hazard. There's a clock, air conditioning controls, glove box is decent size with cup holders inside. That's kind of nice, and obviously plenty of hard plastics. This is not auto dimming, doesn't have to be. There's a mirror here. I don't know what is this, but seems like a, okay, there's a light. Dil mein mere hai the disco. Okay, there is nothing there as such. You sit very high up. You can see the bonnet as well, and the cluster is basic. Fuel meter, engine temperature meter, speedometer, and tachometer. Telltale lights are placed almost everywhere. Steering feels nice to hold on. Horn is very meek for something as bold as this, so this thing doesn't adjust either. So kind of rugged, lot of flaws here and there, but what do you expect from a car of this age? Let's do one thing, let's start driving right away. Before that, audio system is placed here. Gear lever is like crazy, it vibrates. Okay, that's not what it is. Stop assuming things. And when talking about vibrations, I have to show you another thing. Let's shut this proper thud. It's like you have closed a vault or a tank. You know what? You can feel the vibrations here as well. It's vibrating every possible way. Let's start driving. Alright, we're all set to go, which means turning on the vehicle. Oh, there it rose to life. Everything vibrates. We get into reverse. There's a reverse parking camera here. I have to put the handbrake down, which is in a very wrong position. Doesn't go all the way back. Reverse camera is not really showing me much. That is the quality of the camera. Anyway, straight away, let's get going. The mirrors are vibrating. There are a lot of vibrations, but off we go. 5000 RPM red line, does 30 kilometers per hour in first. In second gear, oh my god, it does almost 60 kilometers per hour. We are into third. It bogs down a bit, but turbo lag is very well contained if this car has a turbo, which we don't know if it has or not, because the papers of this car actually say it's the petrol, and there are so many engine options that you can't really say much. Steering has no feel or feedback. In fact, it's so loose in the center position. The gear lever also dances along, and when you come to a corner, you have to pray because there is significant body roll. Oh my goodness. Which actually brings me to a small story. In my childhood, my dad was friends with someone who was running a Tata Motors workshop. So we had a Fiat Premier Padmini. Every time it used to go for repair, he used to drop us back in the Sumo, and I was like, oh my god, this car is so wide. I used to feel like this car is like endless in terms of width, and today I realize it is, because I can't even see what is there. It's like in another car right now. That's how wide it is. Anyways, brakes are okay, fine, but there's this nosedive under heavy braking. Now this is underpinned by the X2 platform, which has underpinned so many cars of Tata Motors. Body on frame, of course. This is rear wheel drive, but because there's not much grunt as such, so you won't have wheel spin or anything of that sort. But that said, there's another corner, which means another prayer. Jokes aside, oh my god, there's some serious roll around the corners. It's very top heavy, and then the handling is very poor. Ride is okay, fine. It has leaf springs at the rear, which means it works better when there are more passengers on board. Otherwise you can, oh my god, some sounds here and there. Otherwise you can feel this, weirdness of the leaf springs. Not very comfortable as such. Now, I was telling you about the engine options. So this car was launched in 1994. This is 96 model, which has been updated to 2004 or something of that sort, spec. So from 94 to 2000, they sold the original Sumo. In 2000, they came up with something known as the Sumo Spaceo, which had, I think, more space, longer wheelbase and all. And then that got a facelift in 2004 when the Victa was launched. And then they also launched the Spaceo ST. ST stands for soft top. So yes, that was there for the rural markets. And then they decided in 2012 to bring a newer version of the Sumo known as the Sumo Gold, which was on sale for 7 years from 2012 to 2019. And then it was discontinued and bye-bye forever. Parallelly, 2008, they launched the Sumo Grand, which was the new generation version of the Sumo, which had a 2.2 liter engine, which is the Dicor unit, which also powered the Safari. This car also got the same engine as the Safari, the 3 liter Dicor, but initially it was powered by 2 liter Peugeot sourced engine, which also went into the Armada, the Sierra and all that. So my Tata and Mahindra was so reliant on Peugeot for their diesel engine, and then obviously that got upgraded over time to 2.1, 2.2 and all that stuff, and that's how the 2.2 engine was actually born. They went to AVL, told them thoda mirchi masala dal ke usko acha kar do, and they did that. But they had a 3 liter engine which was turbo but without common rail. This is obviously making a lot of sound and vibration, so it can be any engine, but the 3 liter engine initially had no common rail. Then they had a common rail version which was also there in the Safari. The horn, nobody gets scared of the horn, they get scared of the car though. And this is a very easy car to drive in spite of its massive dimensions. You're like, bahut badi hai, but no, it's quite manageable. That's something which I really like about this vehicle. So the thing is that the Sumo served a lot of purpose, firstly for fleet operators, cabs, and it was initially launched for the military, with 4-wheel drive. So 4-wheel drive was also available to fleet operators, but for the common man, the civilians, the only option, you always go from behind, Faisal, not from the front, okay, because your car is red. So the only option for civilians was actually rear wheel drive, okay, and they exported this car with 4-wheel drive and 2-wheel drive both. So in India we do not get the full option as such. And then there are two, not two, I meant to say the pricing is somewhere between 6 to 8 lakhs depending on the variant. 7-seater, 9-seater, 10-seater. It's a complete load carrier, but very unrefined an engine. Like, the vibes are crazy. You can feel the vibes, you can feel all that and more. Fuel efficiency is around 10 kilometers per liter, which isn't bad considering the amount of weight it is carrying, and it is a heavy car. Somehow the steering is super duper light. Yeah, it's unbelievably light, and the clutch is gone. It's very heavy. The gearbox isn't bad, it's not good. Some notchy feel here or there, but for the most part I'm able to get into gear, which itself is a blessing to me today. And let's actually use the wipers. No, there is no water, so there is not going to be any spray as such. Going over speed breakers, no problem, but it will end up jumping because of the leaf springs, which are kind of not that great, to be honest. Suspension could be better, handling could be better, ride could be better, brakes could be better, engine could be better. But in those times, this was an amazing car. Really fantastic. Offered you a lot of ruggedness. The feel of driving isn't there as such. It doesn't need to be, because it's an MUV at the end of the day, and then it's used to compete with a lot of options from Mahindra, which were actually descendants of the original Willys and whatnot, MM540, Major, Armada. And then finally when the Bolero came, things became much better and more tougher for this Sumo, because competition was very, very tough. So we're going to come to a halt. Every time I brake now, I do have to pray a bit. And into first gear, it just revs like crazy to 5000 RPM. I don't feel there's a turbo here, but you know what? The good power engine model actually was producing 90 PS and 190 Newton meters, which is quite respectable. 65-liter fuel tank, decent enough to go the long haul as well. And then you come across a speed breaker and you're like, okay, you want to see how it jumps? Here we go. Oh, not bad actually, but depends on your speed as well. Top speed is around 120 kilometers per hour. No point driving at those speeds, but I somehow don't understand, even at speeds, continuously these mirrors keep vibrating. That's the level of unrefinement from this engine. So you can say this is a 2-liter Peugeot sourced engine, which by the way was naturally aspirated. Well, in diesel's turbo is any day better. Somehow it has a constant sound. It doesn't increase when you rev it harder, so that's a good thing as such. And now we're going to make a U-turn, which means some effort. Oh yeah, this is what I was talking about. Depending on the size of the speed breakers, things can be a bit tough. Taking a U-turn, not a problem. And there, Urus is in our line of sight. So guys, if you like this vlog, make sure to give the thumbs up. That's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. Tata Motors went from making this to making that hugely. A huge improvement from Tata Motors. And you know what? From the same family comes this Land Rover Discovery Sport as well. Bye-bye.